Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets. What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to United View. And finally, no, I'm not doing my best Dwayne Johnson, The Rock impression. Finally, is there light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to, and it can only be described as a saga involving Bryan Mbeumo to Manchester United. Finally, is there light at the end of the tunnel? And finally, are we going to get a here we go? Finally, is Bryan Mbeumo going to be a Manchester United player? Finally, have we submitted a bid that Brentford deem acceptable? And is this whole thing going to be done and over with? And can we move on to other targets, which we don't even know who? Kind of, maybe. We'll talk about it in a bit. Because yesterday, of course, the bid went in. The third bid, and it looks like it's going to be the final one. Third and final bid. £65 million plus £5 million in add-ons. And hopefully that's close to that threshold, that £70 million threshold that Brentford are looking for. Reports say that Manchester United are optimistic. They're happy. They're feeling good that this will get accepted. There are other reports saying that sources close to Brentford say they are indeed going to accept the offer. There's a bit of a scramble because Manchester United fly out to Chicago next week. And the hope is that Bryan Mbeumo will be on that plane as a Manchester United player. And we'll have two players through the door, two first-team players in Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo for the first game of pre-season, not tomorrow, in the United States. Now, you could say, too little, too late, and you could say, look, this is the price that Brentford have wanted for the last 4 weeks. Maybe they wanted 70 million the whole time. Have we just caved in? Did Manchester United have any choice? Because yesterday, things were happening. Wissa to Newcastle. Other bids, transfers going through. It led to a lot of people thinking, I tell you what, Manchester United, if you don't move quick, then you're going to miss out on this one. And a report this morning said that Sir Jim and his crew have gone ice fishing in Iceland. I'm not even joking. And they've discussed business, and that business is getting Bryan Mbeumo done. And you know what? At this stage, I'll take it. But maybe we need to have a conversation of, has anything actually really changed at Manchester United because we've given in to Brentford's demands? We'll talk about it. This is the Transfer View. Good morning. How is everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well. This is going to be a big show. Already, we've got close to 750 people through the door. Already, we're over 100 likes. Tomorrow, Manchester United's pre-season begins in Sweden against Leeds United. You may be wondering, Owen, it's a soloing show this morning. Why is it a soloing show? I'll tell you exactly why. Because right now, either they are in the air or they have landed in Stockholm. Yes, Jurgen Fleckington, and Just Josh Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja, they are on their way. They are on their way to, is it called the Friends Stadium? I think it's called the Friends Stadium in Sweden for Manchester United versus Leeds United. Straight after this show, you won't even have to go anywhere. Straight after this show, you'll be redirected to the first piece of preseason content. Fleck in the airport this morning at the wee hours, the early hours of this morning. And he is on his way. We're going to have, obviously, previews coming from outside the stadium, maybe even a stadium tour vlogs, player interviews, journalist interviews, collaborations. It all starts now. Of course, as mentioned, everyone flies out next week to the United States, but the pre-season content begins. And our pre-season starts tomorrow in terms of the match view. Kickoffs at 2. I'll be live at 1 p.m. for an hour's worth of build-up, guiding you through the game. I'm going to have, at minimum, Mr. Marcel with me for some pre-season optimism. It all starts now. Is it the Strawberry Arena? Is that what it's called? Man United. Which one was the Friends Arena? I forget. There's one called the Friends. Yeah, it's the Friends. It says Friends Arena, Strawberry Arena. Same difference, yeah? Same difference. We'll shake on it, Dave. Well done. Yes, we've got plenty to talk about this morning, so be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Let me check out the leaderboard. I can see people. I tell you what, it's a lot of 75 XP. A lot of 75 XP. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one. And yes, we've already got 1,000 people watching. Click the like button and be sure to subscribe. Right. let's talk about this Brian Mbeumo stuff, because I think we've got to have, this is a safe space. We've got to have, I think, a bit of an open conversation about this, because this is one of those ones where sometimes Manchester United fans, we can struggle to be rational. We can struggle to be objective when it comes to our club. We can struggle to be objective when it comes to players, transfers, and because they go on so long, we're just happy to get them done in the end. But I think we need to have a talk of, obviously, we're happy this Mbeumo thing is probably done, hopefully done. Here we go soon. Has anything changed? Have we just caved in? We need to have a talk about it, because I think this is quite a complex one. So let's begin with the latest news regarding Brian Mbeumo. As I mentioned, coming from lots of different people, Alex Crook, Ben Jacobs, etc., they're all saying this morning there is positivity from all parties that Brian Mbeumo will now join Manchester United. The £5 million in add-ons are dependent on team success, such as qualifying for the Champions League. So you never know, we might just not end up giving Brentford those add-ons. Continues James Ducker from The Telegraph saying Ruben Amorim is eager to have Brian Mbeumo in Manchester United's squad by the time we're in the United States, which, of course, as mentioned, is next week. Time is ticking and running out. It's going to be a race against time, certainly. A source close to Brentford, this comes from the London Evening Standard, is saying that Brentford are expected to accept Manchester United's offer for Brian Mbeumo, which also means Johan Wissa is likely to stay. Of course, Wissa was linked with a move to Newcastle yesterday. There's a lot of moving parts going on with Newcastle and Liverpool and how that affects this deal and Nottingham Forest, etc., etc. So we really did see yesterday, I think, the dominoes really start to fall and Manchester United go, oh my God, we can't stand off much longer because we're going to miss out. And not only can we not afford to miss out on the player, I don't know from a PR and just perception point of view, can we really afford to miss out on a player we've been negotiating for 6 weeks? Continues. Ben Jacobs said that Manchester United view their latest bid for Brian Mbeumo as final. I would hope so. It's the third one. They would be willing to engage in tweaks if the offer is not outright rejected, but they will not bid significantly more. And I don't think they should bid significantly more. It's a £70 million package, and it's frankly what Brentford have wanted the whole time. Of course, the story was broken yesterday by who else but the transfer goat that is David Ornstein with the exclusive, the bomber, that Manchester United made that improved bid for Brian Mbeumo worth £65 million plus £5 million in add-ons, later confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, saying that, again, it was the £70 million total package. So, look, when the news came through yesterday that the bid was put in, I was obviously thrilled by it because for a period of time, particularly yesterday, in the morning, I think after Flex and myself had done the morning show, and then we started to see all the news about Ekitike to Liverpool, and with Liverpool getting Ekitike and Newcastle not getting Ekitike, and Newcastle had this, 60, 70 million pound hole in their pocket that they was burning through their pocket rather, and they're like, we're going to get Johan Wissa from Brentford. And then obviously all of us United fans went, well, they're not going to sell Mbeumo and Wissa in the same window. They've already lost their manager. They've already lost their captain, Brentford. Now, what, they're going to lose their two best players? Of course they're not. They're going to lose one of them. They've anticipated to lose one of them. But if Wissa goes, then it's not going to happen. The Mbeumo one, they could rightfully so charge even more. A bit like the Anthony situation at Ajax a couple of years ago when they say, well, we've already sold a bunch of players. We don't need to sell anymore. We're not really interested in selling all of our best players. There's been a lot of change at the club in one window. And I do think Man United in that regard panicked. I don't think there's any shame here in telling the truth. And this is when I say I think we do have to be objective. Two things can be true at the same time. And this is just my opinion on this. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know. But I have a couple of different feelings on this. One, obviously, I'm happy that it's just getting done at this point. I'm happy that it's getting done because it's been 6 weeks. I mean, the video went viral on the red carpet 6 weeks ago when it was David Ornstein did the report of Brian Mbeumo only wants Manchester United, and I'm pressing the buttons and we're all going crazy and we're like, yes. And then loads of people, rightfully so, did the bookmark thing and was like, right, we'll circle back to this one. We'll circle back to this one. And obviously, I I'm happy that the deal's getting good. Because Brian Mbeumo, this is the other part of it. Don't take away from the fact, obviously, this has taken a long time and too long in a lot of people's regards, mine too. It's taken way too long, and it felt like it shouldn't have taken this long. But don't let that take away from the fact of this is still a really good signing. This is still a really good signing. Brian Mbeumo got 20 goals last season in the Premier League. He has consistently got better during his time in the Premier League. And if you look at our team, like I did see this weird narrative yesterday on social media about, about priorities and should Manchester United be doing priorities, blah, blah, blah. One of our big priorities has been scoring goals, right? Last season, not just last season, for the last 3, 4, however many seasons, we've struggled to score goals. Absolutely, we've struggled to score goals. You put Matheus Cunha into that team. You put Brian Mbeumo into that team. You put 2 players that scored a ton of goals last season in the Premier League, got assists as well, and are creative players. They will create, they will score goals. They absolutely 100% improve our team. It's not hard to improve our team because our team is, I don't know what the scientific word is for it, shit. That's our team, right? So obviously they improve our team. It's just, I suppose, difficult because has the length of which this has been so drawn out taken away some of the excitement from it? I think it's inevitable to say it hasn't. I don't think you can say, I'm not as excited as I was 6 weeks ago about it because it's been so cumbersome, isn't it? It's been so tiresome and it's been so, just get it done. Just please, please, please. But it shouldn't take away from the fact of it still is a good signing. They are still very, 2 excellent players. I mean, this is assuming they accept it. If they reject it, then, oh my God, another meltdown. I'm not sure we can take much more. But, I'm thrilled with that part. Is the frustrating part of it that, and who knows what the real story is with this about initially Brentford wanted 62.5, then they wanted 65, then suddenly they shifted to 70 because they were looking at the market and they were looking at, well, if Anthony Elanga is going for 50, 55, if Gittins is 50, if João Pedro is 55, and look at the goals they scored, and look at Madueke, if he's 55, then Brian Mbeumo, he got 20 goals in the Premier League last season. He's our best player. So, yes, he's worth more than 55. And I can understand that. I putting the Manchester United bias to one side, I can understand their thought process in that, because for some reason, the magic number in this transfer market now appears to be like 50, 55 million pounds. So I get that. I also understand the frustration from Manchester United's point of view of going, right, well, we're negotiating with you in good faith and you've moved the goalposts. You've shifted the parameters on us 2 or 3 times. That would be for other clubs enough to walk away, but we don't have the quality to go and find someone else, right? So there's a lot of different frustrations in this. Frankly, at this point, I am just like, as long as it's now done, and we can get it done before the US preseason tour, well, whatever. Whatever. The last 6 weeks have been, let's be honest, a shit show, haven't they? They have, in terms of the players that the exiled 5, none of them have been sold yet, and it doesn't feel like they're close to being sold yet. The Mbeumo thing has gone on for 6 weeks and nothing's really happened, and it's been so long and so drawn out. But it is just still, don't let it take away. Like, that is still a very good signing. And if you said to us at the beginning of the window, Mbeumo, Cunha, by the time we go on tour, I think everyone would have said, we need more. And by the way, this can't be our last signings of the window. We still absolutely need more. But it's been that bad that you are just relieved to see some light when you've been crawling through your tunnel of shit, because I'm getting a bit sick of it, the shit, to be honest. So, yes. And then, look, I am being a bit presumptive here by going, here we go. So if this is a good signing, because, of course, they haven't accepted it. If Brentford reject it, then it's over, isn't it? because 70 million, I said it on social media yesterday, that whole package I think is more than fair. I think they'll accept that. I can't see why they wouldn't. And it just puts an end to the saga. Now that Mbeumo's back at training as well, makes it a bit different. I don't think he's going to go on strike or anything, but I think things might also change in the sense that if they rejected a £70 million total package, then I think he then might have an issue with Brentford and say, look, they've given you actually what you wanted now. And I know I've tried to be as respectful and professional as possible, but this is getting ridiculous. Let's just get it done. Let's just get it done. So I hope so. I really, really do hope so. But I think this is positive news. And look, if we can get Cunha and Mbeumo before the preseason tour of the US, it's excellent. But it's still nowhere near enough. And again, that's how bad we are, is that we can sign 2 top quality players, 2 real, proper, good signings, Premier League proven. They've been playing excellently in the Premier League in Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha. But we need more. We still need a striker. We're going to talk about Benjamin Šeško in a bit. We still need a midfielder. Oh, my goodness me, we still need a goalkeeper. Regardless of Andre Onana, his fitness or anything like that. Saw those reports yesterday, I think, from the Mirror, going, "Wow, Andre Onana, he might be back. He might be back by the Arsenal game." I don't give a shit if he's back by the Arsenal game or not. We still need another goalkeeper. I've mentioned this for I don't know how many days. Andre Onana's fitness is not the catalyst for needing a new goalkeeper. Andre Onana's performances for the last 2 seasons is the catalyst for needing another goalkeeper, okay? Not his injury now over pre-season of, oh, we suddenly need a goalkeeper. No, we've needed one anyway, regardless of if Andre Onana was fit, not fit, or somewhere in between. We've always needed a goalkeeper. So there are still a lot of priority positions. Striker, keeper, midfielder. So we still need a lot more. And how many weeks is it left of the transfer window? Shut September, what, like 8, 10? 2 weeks, like 6, actually, like 6 weeks. So we've only got time for one more signing, apparently, with how long the Bryan Mbeumo one took. About 6. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. All right. We've got over 300 likes already this morning, so be sure to smash a like on the like button. We've got close to 1,600 people watching. Let's see if we can get to 500, 750 for a soloing show. Once again, reminder, right after this stream ends, just before 10 o'clock, you'll be redirected to the first bit of preseason content. Oh, and as I told you yesterday, guys, yeah, and I know this for a fact because I put the video together this morning. One of the fun things about preseason and tour here at United View is the intros. If you're a long-time viewer or if you're a new viewer, we will explain this to you now. With every city that we go to or every destination that we go to, there is a different intro. The UV theme and intro that you know and love gets remixed, modified, depending on the geographical location. Obviously, Flex and Just Josh Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja are now in Sweden. So, how do you remix the UV theme and intro with a bit of a Swedish tinge? We put that task to Just Josh Media Graphics Guru Visual Ninja, and he hit it out the park. He hit a Swedish home run, whatever that is called, yeah? And what you think it is, I won't tell you what it is, but what you think it is, it absolutely is. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. I don't know how we've got away from it. I don't know how we've got away from it, with it, rather. It's brilliant. So that's coming up at 10 o'clock. Let's get to super chats here. Jason, good morning, says, Owen, thoughts on a few people saying Manchester United waited to get Mbeumo because they saved paying his wages for a few weeks. As I've mentioned many a time before, whenever I think we fans think about clubs playing 4D chess of like, they did this because they actually meant to do this, and this delay was actually because of this. Or when they didn't put this person on the bench and they left the player off, they were sending a message to the board. Usually, it's really not as complex as that. You know, was it Occam's razor? the most likely answer is the most obvious answer is the likely, whatever the phrase is. Yeah. It's just because Man United were trying to haggle and they didn't end up doing it. I don't think it was, we've saved some money, because we haven't. We've still just, paid what they wanted. So, yeah, I don't think that Manchester United are capable at this point. Shenanigans says Brentford wanted 60 million up front as per BBC and Sky Sports. I think we paid an extra 5 million for better payment terms, so we have money left to spend this summer. Well, seemingly it's 65 million fixed, isn't it? And I don't know how much upfront that is. James spoke about this quite a lot. It's either Monday or last Friday, talking about how for a while, like the Harry Maguire one, we paid like cash up front, all in one go for a lot of players, and that's really hurt us. I don't know what the actual payment terms are for this Mbeumo one, whether it's 60 million right now, 65 million pounds right now. Not sure. But like I said, at this point, I'm just happy that the deal's getting done. And we can move on to the other signings and focus on getting some exits out the door. It's DJ Buzzy is the latest member of the UV Members Club. Welcome to you. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members-only content. Amanor says, Owen, will there be a call-in show for members tomorrow? Probably not. We don't usually do them on pre-season. We don't usually do them in pre-season, mainly just because in the most of the pre-season games, obviously, they're so late. I know, tomorrow, that's not the case, but probably not. But we'll see. There will be quite a bit of members content coming up soon, because obviously there's going to be so many vlogs and extra special things happening whilst Flex, KG and Josh are on tour. Super Arch says Whistle wants to follow Frank to Spurs over Newcastle. I don't think that I don't think that Whistle will go now. I don't think so, because if they did, I mean, think of the change that they've had at that club this summer. I mean, obviously Thomas Frank going, their captain's gone, and Mbeumo looks like he's going. I know, obviously, the goalkeeper went, they brought in Kelleher, but bear in mind, Keith Andrews, the manager's no Premier League management experience. He's even got management experience in general. I don't think so. So I don't think so. I don't think Whistle will get sold. I'd be quite surprised by that. Right, let's move on and talk about strikers, shall we? We've got over 1,700 people watching, which is great, by the way, folks. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get to 400 likes. We're 20 away, and then get to 500 and move on and on and on. A couple of other programming bits of news as well. Today, 4 p.m., just because Fleck isn't here, there will still be a Trinity. Yes, a live episode of the Trinity. 4 p.m. is the time slot. It'll be myself, KG, that comedian, and also James from Muppeteers. Yes, the unofficial fourth member of the Trinity podcast at this point. We'll be live 4 p.m., so be sure to join us for that. There's also, like I said, going to be so much content coming up from all of this tour stuff. So if you haven't already, now's the time to subscribe. Click the notification bell, because the whole upload schedule just disappears over the next 3 or 4 weeks. So now's the time to subscribe. Click your notification bell. You'll be notified when all of the stuff goes up on all of the socials. Right, let's move on to Benjamin Šeško. I can do it with my voice, actually, can't I?
Benjamin Šeško.
Excellent. Coming to Manchester United. Perhaps this is an interesting one, isn't it? Sam C was reporting on social media that Manchester United's interest in Benjamin Šeško is serious. He wants to join Manchester United over other suitors, even without European football. United scouts have been following for over 3 years, and the club made contact earlier this year. Now, I wondered how long it would take before we started getting linked to Benjamin Šeško, because I always say this in these transfer windows, there is a select pool of players, isn't there? There is a select pool of players that are available. Everyone knows the players that are available going into the window. And when it comes to the strikers that were available in this transfer window, we've known that obviously Gyökeres available. We've known that Ekitike available. We've known that Šeško available. Trying to think of other names that we've known are available that are in the striking position. Liam Delap, we knew he was available. Is Ollie Watkins and Mateta available? Well, I wouldn't put them in that category of we've absolutely known they're going to move this summer. Those are the ones we've known that they're going to be moving this summer. So naturally, when Delap goes Chelsea, when Gyökeres goes Arsenal, when Ekitike goes to Liverpool, and there's only one person left, naturally the links begin between us and Benjamin Šeško. Now, I've seen a lot of people say, oh, and this is a bit concerning for me because Arsenal were... The Arsenal one was weird with him because it felt like he was going to Arsenal. The whole thing of like Benjamin, he started following them on Instagram, right? He's going to Arsenal. That's what's happening. Benjamin Šeško is going to Arsenal. And then next thing you know, they're getting Gyökeres. And who knows how Osimhen was another one. Yeah, he's going to Galatasaray though. Next thing you know, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'm not surprised that we're being linked with him. I'm not sure what his price is. I think it's like 80 million or something. Maybe about that price. And look, it's funny how these things work out, isn't it? Because when we were linked with Hugo Ekitike a few weeks ago, and it was the same kind of, I mean, they were saying like it was going to be like 100 million euros, wasn't it? And it's come down quite a bit now. It's looking at it's going to be like 80 million euro for Liverpool. So that's around 70 million quid. But when that was us being linked to Hugo Ekitike for 70 million I don't think he's good enough. You know, he's not good enough. Rubbish. Unproven Frankfurt. Young player. A bit of a risk. There are better options out there. Now going to Liverpool, and it's like Liverpool cooking. Liverpool are cooking. And it's kind of what Flex was saying yesterday. I think there is just so much stink on Manchester United, isn't there? That if there's those kind of risky signings where you're not really too sure what you're getting, like an Ekitike, or in this case, like a Benjamin Šeško, where you go, look, they've got a really good reputation and they've done well in other leagues, but we just haven't really seen them that much. And coming into the Prem, I don't know. If it's another club that does it, it's almost like, well, they know better than us because we're rubbish at transfers, right? We're rubbish. They're rubbish. We're rubbish at transfers. We ruin players, which we do. So I don't know. Ekitike and the Liverpool team, with the players that they've got, will probably do really well. Like, why wouldn't they do well? And even if he does just okay. No, they had Darwin Núñez as a striker for a while, and he was all right, not amazing, you know. And they still managed to win the Prem. So I get the kind of nervousness about it because, like, if tomorrow Liverpool pivoted and they were signing Benjamin Šeško instead of Ekitike, then Šeško would be a good signing. I think the worry just comes from that. Is it a bit of a red flag that seemingly all of these clubs have sort of passed on Benjamin Šeško?
Red flag.
Well, we said the same. This is the other thing. We said the same about Victor Gyökeres. When we were linked to Victor Gyökeres, it was, why are all these clubs not getting Gyökeres? That's a red flag. And actually, it turns out it wasn't a case of these clubs not going for Gyökeres. It was because Gyökeres only wanted to go to Arsenal. So it was kind of a bit of a non-starter. So that red flag wasn't a true red flag. So I don't know about this one. I worry about the price. I worry about the price because just 70, 80 million seems like a lot. I would prefer continuing to go down this Premier League proven route with someone like an Ollie Watkins. I think the slander on Ollie Watkins, I think, is a bit too much, in my opinion. And who knows? I still think there's business to be done with Aston Villa in this window. Paul Hurst, once again, yesterday saying that, I think it was Chris Wheeler actually as well, saying that Aston Villa want Garnacho. So I think that there's still business to be done there. And I think there could be a situation whereby it's one of those ones where it's not a straight swap. They're two independent deals, but they're kind of like related, if that makes sense. So I could see a situation where Villa do buy Garnacho for, let's say, £60 million, something along those lines, and we end up signing Watkins and maybe Watkins and Emi Martinez, perhaps. And that's how they make those deals, because it's almost like we'll have to give them the money to be able to buy Garnacho, but because it's an academy player and pure profit from an accounting point of view, that will help us. This is where PSR is a bunch of bullshit, because clubs just literally swap money and they go, there you go, it's done. So I wouldn't be shocked if they still continue to go down that route. And like I said, I know that people will say that well, Watkins rubbish. So you go, look, Ollie Watkins, do you want to stay in the bottom half of the table? I genuinely just think that is because he maybe isn't as an exciting name as other people. Sometimes it's a detriment to perception of players because we see them that often, because we don't see Šeško or Ekatike that often. We're not watching the Bundesliga every single week. We go, oh, yeah, he might be good. Ollie Watkins, people see him most weeks. So like, he's rubbish. But he's really not. His numbers have been very, very good. So I wouldn't be shocked by that. And I wouldn't be shocked if it was linked to the Garnacho stuff. The Šeško one, as of now, I just go, I don't know if I see that. I don't know if I see that at the moment. And it's interesting there. Walata says Ollie isn't needed, too old. We don't. This goes back to my point. I don't think we as a fan base know what we want. We really don't, because Ollie Watkins. How old is Watkins? Let's have a look. Ollie Watkins. He's 29 years old. He's 30 in December. Bear in mind, even if we signed him for a couple of seasons, 2 seasons, 3 seasons, that's fine. What we can't do, and this would be the concern for signing people like Benjamin Šeško, going 22 years old. We've done this, signing young strikers and then realizing they need a couple of years. Because if Šeško came here and didn't hit the ground running, I guarantee the discussion would then become, well, he's young, and it's going to take him a year or so to acclimatize to the Premier League. It's going to take a while. You got to cut him some slack, give him time. If Ollie Watkins doesn't hit the ground running, then he should. He's ready, he's ready to do it. So, and also it might be a situation where for 30, you don't end up paying too much of a premium, like I said, because you can work something out regarding the Garnacho deal and Martinez deal, etc. Not that they would be straight swaps; they'd be separate deals. I could see maybe something like that being possible. Where are we at in terms of super chats here? Jason says, and every night at the same time, Damasio has a story about Manchester United players. It's really annoying me now. Well, we are starting to see that, if there's any kind of link, regardless of how small or thin it is, they'll still give it a go, some of these journalists. Like, I saw one about, was it Fosu Mensah, Fabrizio yesterday, or the day before, whenever it was, saying ex-Man United player is now a free agent. And I thought, just got to get that Man United bit in, don't you? got to get that Man United bit in there. Not any more related at this point, but I was like, okay, cool. Yes, it's very strange. And a couple, like you're right, Jason, a couple of the Damasio ones the last few days, like yesterday, wasn't it, with the Rashford one? Juventus are considering Rashford. Are they? Are they really? I don't know. I don't know if they are. D. Wayne says, bring me Mateta. Hey, I've been banging that Mateta drum for months. I remember getting crucified on this very channel, nailed to the cross, for having the gall to suggest that we sign Mateta from Crystal Palace. Do you want to stay in the bottom half? This is why our standards are just on the floor. We're signing players from Crystal Palace in the Premier League, Selhurst Park, Mateta. Look how far Manchester United's fallen. We should be signing Mbappe. You go, okay. Next thing you know, plays well in a few games, does well in the FA Cup final. Bring him in. Did you watch the FA Cup final? Yes. watch other games as well. Yes. And he plays in a similar system. But all right. So I think it is just sometimes a thing of, maybe because what you sort of, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? From buying from Premier League sides. You know what you're getting, but you also know what you're getting. So you know what you're getting in the sense of we watch them all the time. They play in the country. So, you can really understand the player. But because you watch them all the time, you really understand the player, it almost gives you more of a reason to critique and go, oh, no, because I've seen him have bad games. Players have bad games. Benjamin Šeško, have you ever seen him have like 10 bad games or 10 amazing games? Unless you're watching the Bundesliga every week. No. No, you're not. So we do, or we do the whole, if they're coming from Real Madrid, they must be good. And this is everyone as well, by the way. For all of the thing about Watkins, he's 29, 13 December. Mateta, he's 28. Only a couple of years younger. What's the difference? A couple of years. No problem. There's another interesting update here about goalkeepers. Interesting, this from Alex Crook from TalkSport, saying Manchester United are ready to step up their interest in Royal Antwerp goalkeeper Sen Lemens. Antwerp value Lemens at around £17 million. Bloody hell, that's a lot for a goalkeeper from Royal Antwerp, isn't it? Let's have a look. Let's do a quick scouting mission, shall we? Which is Google his name. 23 years old. Let's have a look if we can get some of his... 23 years old, played for Antwerp since 2023, played 50 games. He's not capped at senior level for Belgium. He's played in the Belgium under-21s. In March 2025, he was named in the senior Belgium squad for the UEFA Nations League playoff matches against Ukraine. But I don't think he actually played in those ones. So are we we're signing, he's 6'4". Interesting. My criteria would be, can he save shots? If he can, bring him in. Can he save the ball? Yeah, bring him in. Thank you very much. That's all I look for. I will be. This is a risk on my part, right? Do I dare look at a comp? Do I dare look at a comp? These people are fast, aren't they? Look at this. Welcome to Manchester United. The comp was put up 6 months ago. They've already got a thumbnail up and everything. Obviously, I can't show you because of... Oh, he caught the ball. Yep, held it. Good hands. Ball in, header. Okay, didn't even dive for that one. There's him kicking. I don't care about the distribution. I don't care about it. Show me saves. Good one-on-one save. That was all right. Volley. Straight down his throat. No. That was a better one. Bit of a one-on-one. Yeah, one-on-one. Yeah, I have that. Did he save that? I think that just hit the post. Did he save that? Oh, he did. He did. All right, good. All right, he tipped that one around the post. I'll be honest, I don't give a shit. That comp was not great. I would have gone, can we find something better to put on that comp, please? Yeah. But okay. Yes, where are we at in terms of likes at the moment? We've got over 1,800 people watching, which is great. We're over 500 likes. Let's see if we can get to 750. and keep going higher. Reminder, 15 minutes. You'll be redirected to Flex's video, the beginning of him on his way to Sweden for the preseason game tomorrow. Terrence of the Super Chat saying Dusan's contract is getting torn up. Why not him? Maybe. I mean, like I said, there's no such thing as a free transfer. That would be my concern. I know people like to do that whole, it's on a free. And you go, a free transfer, despite its name is not a free transfer. A lot of the time, the lack of a transfer fee means that agents get greedy or they're signing on bonuses and this, that, and the other. He had a very big salary at Juventus. If he'd be willing to change that, and come down a little bit, maybe, perhaps. But it might be an option. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is an interesting story here, folks. This is an interesting one. I don't know if you saw this. Ineos have gone to Iceland. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Laurie Whitwell wrote this piece for The Athletic this morning. And I just thought, our club, man, just is mad. So Laurie Whitwell writes, as Manchester United's pre-season gets properly started in Stockholm against Leeds United, the idiosyncrasies of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's regime again will be apparent. Chief Executive Omar Barada and Director of Football Jason Wilcox are scheduled to fly to the Swedish capital on the morning of the game tomorrow. Of course, the rest of the team, that's not the case. The reason why is they've accepted Ratcliffe's invitation for a series of face-to-face meetings in Iceland in the days beforehand, as well as getting granular on United matters. There were plans for some in the party to go fishing. You know what's mad? Yeah. With it's almost like a meme, isn't it? Whenever someone's not doing something or they're being lazy or they're not where they're supposed to be, you go into the Manchester United boardroom, there could literally now be a sign that says gone fishing, which I thought does kind of sum up Manchester United in this transfer window so far, doesn't it? Of just, where are they? Gone fishing, mate. Yeah, they have. They really have. They really have. Yeah, but they're having these meetings in Iceland. Ratcliffe, according to Ineos, is a passionate fly fisherman. He's invested in farms around several key river systems in Iceland to help protect the North Atlantic salmon. So amid the streams and hills of Iceland, Ratcliffe, Barada and Wilcox are spending 48 hours before kickoff against Leeds, thrashing out the path forward for United, while also getting to know each other and nature. The next bit. Phone signal can be intermittent in the area. I just thought, be honest, it is one of those ones where it's like, it's like a non-story in the sense of they have meetings all the time. I'm sure lots of clubs and lots of organizations, they have meetings, different parts of the world, in America, in China, blah, blah, blah. But it does just kind of sum up Man United. Like if this is why I think the Brian Mbeumo one was like, we have to get Here We Go. Because if Brentford reject this bid, I mean, Brentford got the opportunity to do one of the funniest things ever, if you're not a Man United fan. But like, if they reject it and you go, where are our key decision makers? They're fishing right now. We finished 15th and our executives are fishing. They're catching salmon. Where? In Iceland. So, Lord help us, that has to be accepted. But it's just one of those. Again, I'm sure that lots of clubs, where they're doing their business, they do their team. Let's do a meeting where do it in this place. I've got a resort or I've got a hotel. We can go there or we can do this. And, We had our meeting when we were actually here over dinner somewhere. We did this and did that. All right, whatever. But it is just feels kind of typical for this transfer window, doesn't it? Where it's like, where are they? They're fishing at the moment. Manchester United acting like, I don't know, an absent husband or father. Where are they? I need help with the kids. They went fishing with their mates. When are they going to be back? A couple of days. God, can I call them? There's no signal. Shit. Like, that's what it's come to. Our transfer negotiations. Yeah. But as Laurie Whitwell writes, indeed, it can reasonably be deduced that being together in person, as Ratcliffe prefers when taking big decisions, was in fact the trigger for stepping up their transfer plans. Having space for deep conversations about the club, both sporting and commercial, was their main agenda. Ratcliffe did propose that Ruben Amorim join the trip too, but after discussions, United's co-owner accepted that the team's head coach needed to be with his squad exclusively in the build-up to a fixture that marks the beginning of the 25-26 campaign. Good. Good. I'm glad they came to that decision, that Ruben Amorim should not be on a fishing trip 24 hours before the beginning of pre-season fixtures. I'm glad they figured that one out. Good. United, he accepted it. He accepted when Ruben, it'd be good if Ruben could come. He's busy doing what? Coaching the team. oh yeah. There's a game tomorrow, isn't there? Yeah, I forgot about that. All right. Well, yeah. Well, we'll call him. We'll FaceTime him when we're there, perhaps. And then just got people like, look at this. Look at the size of this fish I just caught. It'd be like, fuck the fish. Tell me about signings. What's going on with Brian and Mbeumo? Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, we're working on it. So we'll call him. Amorim will instead lead a session at Carrington this morning before boarding a plane with his staff and players to Stockholm in the afternoon, staying overnight in order to be ready for tomorrow's game. It has been a dismal campaign for Manchester United. United's worst in the top flight, 15th since they were relegated in 1974, without the consolation of winning a trophy after losing to Tottenham in the Europa League final. Amorim's words in May gave the impression that sweeping change was looming as the club plotted a fresh start for his first full campaign. But so far, there is strong familiarity to the personnel at his disposal. There was a little bit here about the Brian and Mbeumo bit that I wanted to say as well. This was it. Signing Mbeumo would create momentum, even though negotiations have dragged on for more than a month due to a difference of opinion on the fee between United and Brentford. United started at £55 million and are now up to £70 million. The timing of an offer that executives hope will end in agreement on the eve of United's return to action, and Amorim possibly speaking to the media for the first time since May on Saturday, feels pertinent. Basically, we kind of spoke about this yesterday, Flex and myself, about those press conferences that Ruben's got to do, and Ruben just says stuff. So they need something to happen before he does that, maybe. United want to have Mbeumo on the US tour, which the squad fly out for on Tuesday. So they're not a lot of time. Yeah, Tuesday they fly out to the USA. Tuesday. And the hope is to have Brian Mbeumo flying out with them. That is tight. Okay, right. I'll ask you in the chats. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Is Brian Mbeumo going to be on that plane on Tuesday? 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'll give you a few seconds. Put your numbers in the chat. I think that's really tight. I think that's very tight. Friday. Game tomorrow. Key executives are ice fishing. Or fly fishing. I'm gonna lead on positivity. I'm gonna go a yes. I'm gonna go yes. If he's not, we blame fishing. I tell you what, it's mixed numbers in the chat. It's very mixed. Or it might be a situation where he's not on a plane on Tuesday, but he's on a plane on Wednesday. He's flying out to meet. You know when you hear that? Brian Mbeumo is flying out to meet his new Manchester United teammates. I think we might have that. Maybe. I think we just might get that bit. He's flying out to meet his teammates. He's meeting up with them, I think. First, though, he went for a detour. He wanted to go fishing in Iceland. Sir Jim said it's this new sort of induction process. You have to go fishing with Sir Jim first. And then if he likes you, he goes, right, sign off on the deal. He goes, welcome to Manchester United. Really enjoy fishing here in Iceland. It's beautiful, like beautiful weather. And the salmon around this time of the year. I mean, Omar just loved it. Omar, fishing for salmon is like playing in the Premiership for Manchester United. We play good football, and that's Manchester United. And Ruben wants people that are totally committed to fishing and football too. Really, in the Premiership. That's Manchester United. So go on, Brian. That's what it will be. You just had a little bit of an exclusive there. Sir Jim meets Brian Mbeumo on his fishing trip. Sounds very Gavin and Stacey-ish, that, doesn't it? We'll leave it there. How many likes did we end up at this morning? We ended up at 675. 675. We're less than 100 likes away from 750. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can see in the top right-hand corner, we are over just less than 600 away from 197,000. Pre-season starts tomorrow. Fleck, I got confirmation. During the show. Fleck has, according to my sources, landed. Fleck and Just Josh Media have landed in Sweden. Yeah? Breaking news. The plane has touched Ineos and the plane have touched down. Fleck is in Sweden before Ineos. Ineos are in Iceland. So Fleck has landed. In just a few minutes, you'll be able to see his airport trip, road trip, whatever you want to call it, the beginning of pre-season. Brought to you by Oxford Natural by Gowan Life. Link will be in the video description. You can be able to scan the QR code. You can get optimized. You can scan and save up to 70% off your Optimum day and night. You can buy them together or individually. And it's a new and improved formula. Find your jawbones. Yeah. Find your jaw lines. Get optimized. It's not too late. So it's going to be a beginning of a lot of pre-season content. The UV vlogs are back. The UV tours are back. The collaborations are back. The stadium tours are back. And it's going to be a lot of fun. There's not be that much sleep. It might not be great football, but it's going to be a lot of fun indeed. So, yes, don't go anywhere. You'll be redirected. Reminder, we'll be back live later on this afternoon. Trinity, 4 p.m. Be KG, that comedian, myself, and James from the Muppeteers discussing all things Manchester United. And there'll be more content coming up from Flex throughout the day. And tomorrow we'll be live. We'll be live for the match view at 1 p.m. Kickoffs at 2. And also, on top of that, this is why, again, you got to subscribe. I'm pretty sure there's like a special tactical view coming tomorrow morning, I think on Mateus Cunha. Yeah, we're ready for pre-season. Are you? Manchester United might not be, but we are. Okay. Anyway, stay tuned, stay locked in. You'll be redirected to Flex's road trip. I'm out of here. Have a good one. Peace.